over, and you're certainly invited to peruse what we've done. So my commitment to the Women's Council is the same as my commitment to the Hispanic Council. I promoted it. I helped bring it into being. We brought it to fruition. We have put good people on it. We have funded it. Now we're going to make certain that they have open sesame so that they can not only carry on their own programs, but bird dog this administration in the process.
I'd like to know why Mayor Washington is taking such a laid-back position on his supervision and interest in the Board of Education.
Let me dispel this laid-back position concept. I'm not laid back any place. First of all, I have made it absolutely clear that the responsibility of a mayor or any other executive official is not to involve himself into the administration of a school system, curricula, etc. That's not the purview of a politician, and you don't want that. The problem in the past in this city is that previous mayors have practically run the public school system, and they have used that system as a market for bond merchants, craft unionists, and contractors. We know that. It's legend. I happen to be the first mayor in 60 years who bothered to even attend the public school system.
Mr. Mayor, we're sorry to interrupt.
John, I appeal. You give us another hour.
We're out of time. I hope you'll come back again, and thank you very much for being with us on Chicago Feedback. Thank you all very much, and good night.
What would you like to seriously see your legacy be?
Among other things, now hear me, an appreciation for a process. Democracy is not a goal. It's not so many pounds of this or ounces of that. Democracy is a process which is designed to bring out the broadest possible spectrum of opinion for the purpose of making public policy and decisions.
The scene, Mayor Washington's City Hall office, just 14 days before his death. It was a relaxed but in-depth one-hour interview. We both knew it was watershed time in his administration. Re-elected to a second term, with control of the city council now, Harold Washington was clearly in charge, advancing his agenda, no longer able to blame his predecessors for Chicago's problems. Being mayor, Harold Washington loved the job, and in the last interview, he reflected on the long road to City Hall.
I wasn't groomed for mayor. I was assistant corporation counsel. I was a secretary to an alderman. I was a state senator. I was a state representative. I was a congressman. I came up through the machine, broke and went independent. I've been dealing with budgets and appropriations and personnel and departmental heads all my life. That's the background. I proudly and humbly accept, on behalf of the people of Chicago, the nomination as the Democratic candidate for mayor in 1983. Unfortunately, in this city and in many others, people, unfortunately, take the easy way out. They want someone to tell them what to do, and that's the worst thing in the world. We have tried to reinstitute this conception of a process by which you arrive at decisions, and it's taking on. More and more people are becoming involved in the process of government. That was a time not long ago. If you said you were Chicago, someone would make the crack. Al Capone, rat-a-tat-tat-tat-tat. That was a time when you said Chicago and someone would respond like a Pavlovian dog, segregation. Or you said Chicago and people talked about the 1968 riots, or said Chicago was where everyone went who didn't want to be anybody. But now, anywhere in the world you go, Israel, Egypt, Rome, Shanghai, Tokyo, Nairobi, Zimbabwe. Now, you go to any of those places and you say you're from Chicago, you know what they'll say to you? How's Harold?
Mayor of Chicago. From the first, Harold Washington relished the job. But he took office amid fears that whites would be excluded, fears that whites would flee the city, and fears that he, a black man with past legal problems, was incapable of running the multi-billion-dollar corporation known as the City of Chicago.
The President recognizes Alderman Terrace.
I move we adjourn.
You've heard the motion. All in favor, signify by saying aye. Opposed, no. Council is adjourned.
A political firestorm quickly exploded. consul wars. They called the city Beirut on the lake. Mayor Washington clashed with the remnants of the Democratic machine, forever changing the face of Chicago politics. The question of a legacy. Just what did Harold Washington want to leave behind? Obviously, he had no idea that death was imminent, literally days away, but he had also obviously given the question some thought. We now leave you with his thoughts.
The trouble with Chicago, it is retarded. Other cities have moved away from us. Our legacy is one of clout, and we still think of it, and it's killing us. We've got to get away from it. And we've got to stop imposing that kind of a truncated thinking on the leaders. This leader's not going to buy it because he knows that's not the way to run things. But that is the way to do it through that process. Look at the Educational Summit. Watch as this whole parent council matter unfolds, and you will see my idea about how cities should be run in terms of solving serious problems. That's the legacy I want to leave. It goes without saying I want an open government. I want institutions that work. I want people to come together and work cooperatively and interdependently with each other and all those kinds of things. But fundamentally and basically, you've got to get people into an idea of working together through an ordered system of give and take.
So he brought them into the process as your legacy.
Yes.
This city. They're concerned about this city. They know that this country is in the throes of a conservative reaction with some hate syndromes moving, and they're very much concerned. So they look to this city for hope. And when we emerged as the leader and the winner of the Democratic primary, they thought they saw that hope because we had a reputation here of being admired down in controversy. And so as I've moved through this country and talked to this country, people have said